Okay, see here. Last lecture I had given one question for homework, question number 12. That sum I have to discuss, but that I will discuss in the next lecture. Okay. But that sum requires discussion, question number 12, because it is an important question. It is a question from past paper. It requires discussion. And those who have not yet done this sum, first try that sum on your own. Then only discussion will make sense. Okay. The sum is not tough. Based on the concept which I have discussed in the previous lectures, you should be able to get at the right answer. But still I want to discuss certain points in that question. So that discussion will be done in the next lecture. Right now, continuing with the chapter of transfer pricing, check the status of our chapter. In this chapter, we have to do in all 13 things. Okay. So out of that, introduction is done. Then we did section 92A, associated enterprise, that whenever two entities have relation of sub-lug gumfo, they are called associated enterprise. And then international transaction 92B, it is a transaction between associated enterprise in which at least one party should be NR. And then we did section 92C, that is arm's length price. Arm's length price, again this theory is in 5 parts. First part is meaning. What is the meaning? In meaning I had given 3 sentences. It is a price charged in uncontrolled transaction. It is a price charged to unrelated parties, and it is a true, fair and genuine price. And then part B is computation, and in computation I had created 5 questions like this. Why to compute ALP, when to compute, who will compute, at what time to compute, and how to compute. So why to compute ALP? Because government does not trust this price. Price charged by assessee to its AE, since government does not trust it, we have to find out the true price. And then when to compute ALP? Whenever these 2 conditions are satisfied. AE plus IT, then to compute ALP. Whenever AE plus IT. And then who has to compute ALP? Assessee has to compute ALP. Usually assessee wouldn't know all these things, so he will have to take the help of a CA. And then at what time to compute ALP? At the time of filing the return. And then how to compute? For that there are 5 methods. And out of the 5 methods, assessee has to select the most appropriate method. And what are the 5 methods? Comparable uncontrolled price method, resale price method, profit split method, cost plus method, and transactional net margin method. So till here we have done. Means if I mark in this summary, we have done till here. Isn't it? Till here we have done. So check and tell me what is the next theory. Check and tell me what is the next theory. Next theory is about average. I mean, there is one concept of average which I have to explain here. See what is that average concept. Still we are into computation of ALP only. But sometimes in ALP computation we have to follow the concept of average. So what is that and when that average situation arises? So this is the next theory. And see, I want you to literally by heart this summary. Because see, if this is clear in your mind, you will know where we are going. Otherwise, if you just keep taking the knowledge without making a plan that what is done first, then what, you will be confused. So just keep this summary in your mind. So as per the summary, see, especially I am talking about 92C right now. This is done, this is done. Next is average. See what is the average? Look at this. Why I have written here C? Section 92C is in 5 parts, meaning that was A. Please focus on the numbering, because see, I have noticed students listen to everything, they understand everything, but they are not able to organize in their mind that what we are studying. That organizing skill is also important. So how I have organized section 92C in 5 parts. So if you notice, A was meaning, that was A. Remember the alphabet A. B was computation. Now this is C part. This is average. Actually, average is also an extension of the computation theory. Now try this example. Assume X Limited and Y Limited are associated enterprise, and X Limited has sold the goods to Y Limited for $125. Now since the transaction is between two associated enterprise and it is an international transaction, we don't trust this price. Make a rule in this topic: whenever AE plus IT, don't trust the price. And did you see the combination of AE plus IT? AE, X and Y are AE, and it is international transaction. So we don't trust this price. So what we do? We find out the genuine price. Price method. Then what I will do? I will have to find out the prices charged in uncontrolled transaction. Because see, this is a controlled transaction. This is a manipulated price. And since I don't trust this, I need to find out the price of uncontrolled transaction. What do you mean by uncontrolled? The transactions which are not in our control, the transactions with unrelated parties. For that, see, I have written here outsiders. But see, when we did research on the prices charged to unrelated parties, we discovered that there are 4 different prices. Means there was no uniformity in pricing. There was no uniformity in pricing. Even in outsiders price, even in the prices to unrelated parties, there is variation. Can you see different varieties? To some outsiders, X Limited is selling the goods for $150, and to some outsiders $120, and to some outsiders $110, and to some outsiders we are charging $140. And see, all seems to be genuine. Why all seems to be genuine? Because after all the prices are with unrelated parties, and whenever we transact with outsiders, or I can say whenever I transact with unrelated parties, we have to trust the price. But then we are confused that whether 150 is the true price, 120, 110 or 140, all looks true and fair. So whenever this situation arises, we have to take the average. This you might have thought on your own also by common sense. Means while I am speaking, you might have thought that definitely sir will talk about now average, because it is a common sense. Then whenever there are multiple things and to arrive at one thing, the best solution is to average out. But see, I will not directly take the average of this. First, you know what I will do? First, I will make the adjustments. Literally, I will have to find 4 ALPs, and then I have to find average of ALPs. You know what mistake a student does? He will simply take average of these prices. And you know what is wrong in this? These are not the final ALPs. These are the prices charged in unrelated transactions, uncontrolled transactions. So first you have to make adjustments of discount, warranty, etc. See, keep in mind I am following the first method in this example. First method means comparable uncontrolled price method. So as per this method, what I should be doing here? First I should be making all the adjustments for discount and warranty. Means literally I will first take 150 as a base. See, 150. And with the help of 150, first I will find out the first ALP. So tell me what to do. In $150, I will have to make plus or minus adjustments to account for differences between IT and UT. What do you mean by IT? Transaction with AE on which we don't trust is called IT, and the transaction with outsiders is called UT, uncontrolled transaction. So $150, add or less, I am interested in that wordings, add or less adjustments to account for differences between IT and UT. So that adjustment will be done and that 150 might change. Similarly, I will take $120 as a base. Even in $120, I have to make adjustments to account for differences between IT and UT, then 110 and then 140. Means literally I will have to find 4 arm's length price. Then what to do? Then I will take the average. So let us assume for simplicity that there are no adjustments in this example. Like discount, warranty, FOB, CIF, no such adjustments are there. So what to do? Just find out the average. Assume that adjustment part is done. And even in exam, usually what they will do, if they test you on this, they are not going to put that adjustment things. Because putting the adjustments things and then averaging, this question can become a lengthy question. But at the back of the mind, you should have that first I will make the adjustments to account for differences between IT and UT. Okay, so let's assume that adjustment is done. Now what is the average? Find out and tell me what is the average. 150 plus 120 plus 110 plus 140. So that comes to how much? That is added, then divide by 4. See, I have written here $130. So did you notice here? What is this plus and minus? Adjustments. And these are the actual ALPs. But ALPs cannot be 4. ALP has to be only 1. And the 1 is the average figure. And average is $130. Now, wait. After $130, what should be your conclusion? Did you notice one thing? After every computation ALP, we have to give conclusion in exam. So let's assume this is my answer. So what should be my conclusion now? You should know how to write the conclusion. See, the conclusion is written like this. Since the ALP is $130, the genuine sale price is $130. But assessee has shown only $125, shown less, cheating. Hence, the difference of, say, difference of $5 shall be added to the income of X Limited. This is the way we write. But wait, listen now, next point is very important. Whenever there is a situation of calculating average, there is a tolerance band. There is a tolerance band. That means if the difference between this ALP and actual price is a small difference, government will let go. What did I say? If the difference between ALP, which we calculated based on average, and the actual price, if the difference between this 130 and 125, if it is a small difference, then government will let go. Let go means they will say, forget ALP, you are true and genuine. Our price will be accepted, provided the difference is small. What is small difference? I will tell you. But if the difference between, repeat, ALP and actual price, if it is a small difference, the difference will be ignored, ALP will be ignored, and my price will be accepted. But only if the difference is small. And you know what is small difference? 3% of actual price. This 3% is a fixed rule. By heart 3%. 3%, 3%, 3%, but 3% of actual price. This 3% is called tolerance band. Why it is called tolerance band? Feel the word tolerance. Means law will tolerate this difference. You know why we have to use the word tolerate? Because see, whenever someone is showing less income, whenever someone is showing less income, I am hurt. That why do you show less income? You are paying less tax. But still I will tolerate. What I will tolerate? Showing less income. Government says we will tolerate. But if the difference is small. And what is small? 3% of actual price. So do one thing, calculate 3% of actual price. Let me calculate here. 3% of actual price. What is the actual price? 3% actual. What is the actual price? See, this transaction is the actual price. So 125 is the, see, this is the main actual transaction is this only. So the price of actual transaction 125. So calculate 3% of 125. So that comes to how much? $3.75. This is called tolerance band. Now what to do? Now what? Now we have to see the actual difference. See what is the actual difference. I will write here. What is the actual difference? 130 and minus 125. That comes to how much? $5. See, $5, what wordings I used? It is the actual difference. Now I have to compare this with how much government will tolerate. So that tolerance band, this figure I will write here. See, near 5 only I have written 3.75. Now tell me, that difference of $5, is it a small difference or big difference? It is big difference. It is bigger than 3.75. So see what I am doing. I am putting a greater than sign here. Look at the screen properly. Did you see I have put a greater than sign here? So this shows the difference is small or big. It's a big difference. So big difference government will not tolerate. And you know why we have to use the word tolerance? Because big difference means you have shown the income less, and it is not little bit less. It is too much. In the sense it is more than 3% of the actual price. So this difference government will not tolerate. So what government will do? When I say law will not tolerate means what they will do? Yes, now law will say this entire difference we will add to the income of X Limited. Don't say add back. Add back. Add back word is used when some expenditure is excessively deducted and we add back to the net profit. See, I have noticed in my past teaching, every time wherever we use the word add back. Add back means what? Add back means something is deducted and then we reverse it, then we say add back. But here, does the word add back suit? See, they have shown less sales, means they have shown less income. So we'll add, that's it. So language should be difference of $5, means this difference shall be added to the income of X Limited. When to use the word add back? Whenever someone has excessively deducted the expenses which has reduced the net profit, then we'll say add back in the net profit. But you know why I am adding $5? Because the difference is small or big? Big. You know, in this case many students have the doubt, but sir, to the extent of 3.75 we should allow. No, it's not like that. See, if the difference is small, it's ignored. If the difference is big, entire difference is added to the income. You know why did I stress on the word entire? Because some students think that even if the difference is $5 to the extent of 3.75, if government is tolerating, so let it tolerate. So 5 minus 3.75, only 1.25 should be added. It's not like that. You know what law says? If we tolerate, then we tolerate. But if we don't tolerate, we will not at all tolerate. Then we'll add the entire difference to your income. So here it is not like that partly law will tolerate, partly law will not tolerate. Either they will tolerate or they will completely not tolerate. And completely means entire difference will be added. So here what you have to remember? 3% of actual price. But did you notice one thing? That 3% of actual price, this rule will be applicable only in case of multiple ALPs. Some students, what silly mistake they do? They generalize it. Whenever there is small difference, we should ignore it. True or false? I repeat my statement. Whenever there is small difference, ignore it. False. The correct statement is what? Whenever there comes a situation of average, then we have to ignore small differences. What is the logic of this tolerance band? Because see, when already there is variation in the outside prices, it becomes difficult to doubt the assessee. Because assessee can always say, you can see my outside prices also are in varieties. So this 125 is also variety. Assessee can always argue. What can be his argument? That in outsiders also there is variation in the price. So this 125 is another variety. So how can you doubt us? An assessee can argue like this. Yes, if there has been a uniform pricing to all the unrelated parties, then even if $1 difference is there, government will not tolerate. If there is uniform pricing, say for example, instead of this multiple prices, if this would have been like this, everyone is sold at 126. Means all the unrelated parties are sold for 126. Then government will not tolerate the difference. Then we can confidently blame the assessee that to the entire world you are selling for 126. Then how come this is 125? Then if assessee says it's a small difference, why small difference? We will not tolerate this. That tolerance band comes when there are multiple prices, because in such case assessee gets a benefit of doubt. What do you mean by benefit of doubt? There is a doubt that maybe assessee is true. And see, if you notice one thing, look at this. Look at 110. Looking at 110, it seems assessee may be true. Not understanding only. 110 compared to 110, 125 is more. So if I stick to 110, assessee will say, see, two unrelated parties are sold for 110, but here I am showing 125, I am showing more income. So considering 110, assessee looks genuine. But considering 150, assessee looks cheater, because compared to 150, 125 is less, and showing less income is cheating. In short, there is a benefit of doubt. In the sense, there is a doubt that maybe assessee is genuine and maybe he is not genuine. That's why law says that's okay, that we will tolerate little bit of difference, but only little bit. But if there is a huge variation between this average ALP and the actual price, if there is a huge variation, if there is a vast difference, then we will not tolerate at all. At all means entire difference will be added to the income of the assessee. So in short, this concept works only in case of multiple prices. One more thing. Many students misunderstand what? That because we tried different methods, we got multiple varieties. You still didn't understand the misunderstanding part. Some students misunderstand what? That these varieties are there. Why? Because already law has created so many methods, Kapam, Rapam, CPM. So since so many methods are there, obviously you will get varieties. See, varieties not because of you tried all methods. You are not allowed to try all methods. Out of 5, you have to select the one which is most appropriate. But in that most appropriate, look at my hand. In that most appropriate, I found varieties. See, this is a small point, but you should note it. Because many times you understand the explanation at surface level, but inside there is some wrong concept which you don't even realize that time. So in short, don't think that I tried all 5 methods. These are 5 methods. Kapam, Rapam, Pasam, CPM, Tanam. So don't think that I tried all methods. You are not allowed to try all methods. What did law say? You have to calculate ALP as per the most appropriate. So see, out of this 5, first I will select most appropriate. Let's assume this is the most appropriate method. Now in this also there are varieties, then average. And there also the variety should be less than 6. If 6 or more varieties, this rule is not applicable. Something else is applicable which I have to yet explain. Then there is a concept of median. This was mean, then median. Suddenly you will be recalling statistics. Remember mean, median, mode. So here I had used the concept of mean, arithmetic mean. But if there are 6 or more, you know this 6 I am not saying casually. 6 is fixed. It's a rule. If there are 6 or more varieties, then the concept of mean doesn't work. There is something called median. And how that median thing works, I will explain. So tell me once again, tell me, how many methods are there for computing ALP? 5. Kapam, Rapam, Pasam, CPM, Tanam. Now out of the 5 methods, is it that try all methods? Try all. Don't try all. You have to choose the most appropriate. And once I choose a particular method, for example, I like this method is the most appropriate. So method is only one. Now in that method I am getting varieties. Then you should see how many varieties. If less than 6 varieties, then mean. 6 or more varieties, then median. Median I will explain. But first, do you agree? Under all methods, varieties are possible. Let us explore one by one. Let us explore one by one that how varieties are possible in all methods. See, first method was what? Kapam. Kapam method is in front of you. And you have personally seen that how varieties are possible. See, varieties are possible because in Kapam we take the unrelated price as a base. So there are so many unrelated parties, and the situation is that for all unrelated parties we have different pricing. See, in real life there cannot be 100 or 200 multiples. At the most 3 to 4 varieties, and sometimes there are lot of varieties, then there is median, 6 or more. But usually you will not find many varieties. Obviously, if my product is standard, for a particular product I will have a standard pricing normally. So firstly, this variety scenario is also rare. But in that, having so many varieties is very rare. So that keep that in mind, that variety situation itself is a rare thing in real life. Because usually if my product is standardized, I will sell this product at same price to whole world. So in short, we were exploring under each method variety is possible. So in Kapam you saw variety is possible. What was next? Resale price method. In resale price method, see what we did. Remember this? Resale price method, that example of Samsung I gave, Samsung India, Samsung foreign. So here what did we do? We have taken 20% GP. Based on that 20% GP, we could arrive at the true price. Did you notice what was the main thing in resale price method? That GP margin. Imagine if this GP margin wouldn't have been there, how will you find out the ALP? It's difficult. This is what we did in this sum, right? That in this $6,000, first we deducted the standard GP margin. But sometimes in that standard GP margin, you can find varieties. It's not necessary that everyone is having a GP margin of 20%. Here also you can expect varieties. Means some outsiders are having margin of 20%. Some are having margin of 15%. Some are having margin of 18%. Means these are outsiders. Outsiders who import from Korea, Samsung and sell in India. So even in that outsiders you can have variety of GP margin. So imagine here if I have 3 to 4 varieties of GP margin, then there can be 3 to 4 ALPs. Similarly, even in profit split method, here I took number of engineers as a benchmark to apportion. But sometimes you feel no, number of engineers is not a proper criteria. We should follow some other criteria, and that other criteria equally looks good. That other criteria equally looks good. So there can be a variety. Means number of engineer was one criteria to divide the profit. But sometimes some another criteria looks fit, that even that criteria is appropriate to split the profit. So in short, this way varieties are possible. Even in this cost plus method, I am showing by one each method. Even in cost plus method, what we did, X limiteds direct and indirect cost, we added the GP margin. But see that GP margin also we can have variety, because see industry is big. For example, even if I am selling a particular chemical, that chemical industry is a big industry. It is not possible that we can have one standard GP, 20% only. There can be varieties in the market, 20, 21, 22. I am talking about the GP margin. And every time you feel 20 is also proper, 21% is also proper, even 23% is proper. So sometimes there are 2-3 things which looks proper. So what to do? So even this can be possible even in transactional net margin method. Only thing is in transactional net margin method, what we do? Instead of adding the standard GP, we add the standard net profit margin. But even in that net profit margin, you can have varieties. In short, what are we doing? We are exploring that under all 5 methods, varieties are possible. And when there are varieties, so we first find multiple ALPs and then we average out. But that averaging is done only when less than 6 varieties. If it is 6 or more, then we cannot just average, then there is a different concept of median. So in short, I was exploring that under each method variety is possible. But see, while explaining this average, I took the example of Kapam. You didn't notice the example was of Kapam. In Kapam only we take these prices and make adjustments. So I took an example of Kapam. I could have taken example of cost plus method also. Tell me, if I wanted to take cost plus method, how I should have created the example? Then I should not have paid attention to this. Then X limiteds, direct cost, indirect cost, in that standard GP margin. But in that GP margin, let's assume I find varieties. That in some transactions there is 20% GP margin, and in some 30%, some transaction 25%. So I should have given varieties of GP margin. Then what you would have done? With each GP margin you will calculate ALP using that cost plus method only. What is the format of cost plus method? Direct cost, indirect cost plus GP margin. So if there are 2-3 GP margin, imagine a question in front of you. They have given 3-4 GP margins. So we will have to calculate 3-4 ALPs, and then I would have done average. In short, understand my feeling, what I am trying to say, this multiple thing is not always in Kapam. It can come in other method also. And this was the best thing which I did. What did I say? There are 5 methods. So first you have to select the method. Which method is most appropriate? And then look at my hand. Once I select this method is most appropriate, so other method goes to hell now. And once I select this method, in this method I may discover varieties. And then you have to see number of varieties. If it is less than 6, Arithmetic mean means the thing which I did here. And if it is 6 or more, then there is something called median which I have to yet explain. Look at this now. The thing which I have been continuously saying, I have shown here in the form of a chart. See this hand, look at this, come on. Out of 5 methods, you have to select the most appropriate. So see, I have written here, most appropriate method. So method is always one. You cannot try all methods. Let us try all method and then we'll see. Yes, in rough work, people do try different methods. But ultimately, the main working is based on one method only. So see, the most appropriate method we selected. Now, what are the two possibilities? Either we arrive at a single price or multiple price. So tell me, if you get a single price, then see what I have written. ALP is such single price. Then there is no confusion. And till yesterday's lecture, we were under that impression only that ALP will be only a single ALP. But today we explored that not necessary that you get a single price. You can get multiple prices. Now, even in multiple prices, there are two classifications. Either you get less than 6 prices or 6 or more. Tell me, in this example, the example which I took, how many varieties were there? 4. So, my mind thought like this, that it was less than 6. That is why I took arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean means that simple average. Simply add and divide by number of items. And here there is a concept of tolerance band. What is the tolerance band? 3% of actual price. Tell me how to do the working of 3%. Look, by heart this format, this thing. First you should see the actual difference. First you should see the actual difference. Actual difference means the ALP which I calculated by averaging and the actual price. First I should find the actual difference. Then on the other hand I will calculate 3%. But 3% you have to take on actual sale price. And then you have to see if our difference of 5 is greater, then the difference is not tolerated. Then your conclusion should be entire $5 shall be added to the income of the assessee. But tell me, what would have been the case if this difference would have been only $2? If this difference would have been only $2, I'll make the change if you want. See, let us assume this was 127. Means this average ALP, let's assume it is 127. Then what to do? 127 minus 125 is only $2. And $2 is greater or small? It is small. It is smaller than 3.75. Still this will be 3.75 only. Huh? Many students are thinking that sir has changed the figure. So 3.75 will also change. No. You notice I have changed which figure? ALP. But that 3.75 is 3% actual. And I have smartly kept the actual as 125 only. 125 is actual. So 3% of that still remains 3.75. But since I have changed the ALP to 127, now my difference is only 2. So it's a big difference or small difference. So it will be tolerated. Tolerated means what? Tell me, in such case, how will you write the conclusion? Price declared by the assessee is accepted and ALP will be ignored. You will write this when? If the difference is small. See, first make this part very clear, then only I will touch the new thing. This is clear or not? Arithmetic mean. And basically I want you to by heart this approach. First you have to see, tell me step by step what you will do. Out of 5 methods, select one method first. And that selection is never a task for a student in CA final exam. In real life it's a task that which method to select, which method to select. But for a student, method will be evident in the question paper. So select the method and then see whether you are getting single price or multiple. If single price, then that's the main ALP. And in single price scenario, there is no tolerance band. See, you might be thinking why I am stressing this one, because I have seen silly mistakes. Even in this single price case, students bring that tolerance band. But if this chart is clear in your mind, trust me, you will never make that silly mistakes. So if single price, then that is the final ALP. Then in such case, even if $1 difference is there, it is not tolerated. But if multiple prices in that less than 6, then arithmetic mean, and then there is a tolerance band of 3% of actual price. Now next thing is, if there are 6 or more varieties, then what to do? This theory is important. So this I will take next. So now see, for median, I have kept one example ready. Look at this. In this example, you will understand the concept of median. But this concept of median you have to use when there are 6 or more varieties. So do one thing. First understand the example properly. Because only if you understand this example, just wait. Only if you understand the example, then only you will understand what is this median and all that. So see, I have assumed that assessee has purchased some raw material from its AE. You know, I have written an actual price. Actual means the actual transaction between assessee and AE was a purchase transaction, and assessee has declared the purchase price as $17. See, we are always targeting the transaction with AE, because the transaction with AE is not trustworthy. For that only we are finding the ALP. So first you have to understand what was the actual transaction. So imagine India and foreign in your mind. So imagine I am in India and I have purchased raw material from my associated enterprise in foreign. Feel like that. And I have purchased from my AE raw material at, $17. So this is the actual transaction price between assessee and AE. Now, since we don't trust, we will have to find out the reliable prices. You know, especially in purchase, what doubt we have? That definitely assessee might have shown purchase at inflated price. See, don't I say always that whenever there is a transaction between AEs at international level, we cannot trust. So if I don't trust, so what is the doubt in $17? Tell me the doubt which government will have. That definitely assessee might have shown purchases at higher price. Because if you try to inflate the purchase, your profit will go down. So that is the cheating which we feel that it is possible that assessee has inflated the price. So that is why we are finding arm's length price. So you know, first what we will do, we will find out the same raw material if purchased from unrelated parties. I am assuming it's a purchase of raw material transaction. So if same raw material are purchased from unrelated parties, so what are the varieties? So see, we got 8 varieties. So can you explain what is this 12 in my example? 12 is the purchase price with our transaction with unrelated parties. But this way we have got 8 varieties. Means with some unrelated parties it is 14. And with some unrelated parties it is 6. And so on. So this way there are 8 varieties. So now tell me what to do. Obviously you will say we will have to calculate median, that I haven't explained. But see, I will explain median, but see whether it is mean or median, first you have to make adjustments. Don't forget that. Even in this 14, look at the screen, 6, 10, 12, 18, 8. Can you see the prices? all these prices will be first subject to adjustments to account for differences between IT and UT. See, directly you cannot jump to mean or median. First, whatever data you get, data means prices of unrelated parties. First, you have to make all the adjustments and bring the transactions at par, like discount, warranty. So let's assume all that adjustments are done. Now I have got final 8 ALPs. So now what should be the final ALP out of these 8 figures? How to select? Here we cannot do like this. Let's simply add all and divided by 8. If this we do over here, then it is nothing but mean only. But here we cannot follow the approach of mean. So see, what to do, I will explain for some time mechanically. Then I will explain the logic. This thing is such a concept that if I start explaining with logic from the beginning, you will get confused. So my plan is what you know. First I will solve this entire question mechanically without making you realize what is the logic behind that. First let us understand this mechanically as a rule. Just as you have studied maths when you were child, how you used to by heart the formulas and all that. So just mechanically by heart what I am explaining. And once I arrive at the final answer, then I will explain the concept behind that. But for some times just understand mechanically, okay? First step, arrange the data in ascending order. Why I am doing that? What did I say? Why? I will not explain now. That reasoning part I will do afterwards. First do it mechanically what I am saying. So what did I say? Step 1, arrange the data in ascending order. This way there are 4 steps, right? Step 1 is arrange the data in ascending order. Means what? Arrange all these prices from smallest to biggest. It is ascending order, means you have to ascend, you have to go up. So from small to big. So tell me what is the smallest price here? Out of this 8, what is the smallest? 6, then 8, then 10, then 12, then 14, then 16, then 18 and then 20. So this is arranging the data in ascending order. See, I have already done here. Ascending order. This is step 1. Okay. By heart, how many steps are there? 4 steps. Next step is calculate 35th percentile. Repeat what I said. Calculate 35th percentile. What is this 35th percentile? Don't try to think all this. Just do what I am saying. 35th percentile is nothing but number of items into 35%. So tell me how many prices are there in my data? 8 prices. So 35% of 8 means, look at this. If this would have been a data of 15 prices, then 15 into 35%. So what is the formula? Number of prices in the data. I am focusing on the serial number column. Number of prices multiplied by 35%. So in my example, how many prices are there? 8. So 8 into 35%. Calculate and tell me. 8 into 35% comes to how much? 2.8. Now, whenever you get some figure in decimal, what is the normal tendency? We see if it is 0.5 or more, we take the next number. And if it is less than 0.5, we come below. But here you have to always go to the next higher number. Whether it is 2.1, 2.2, 2 point anything, after 2, 3. You have to round it off to the next higher number. Take this seriously, otherwise in exam what you will do? If you get 2.2, you will make it 2 only. See, don't use the normal principles of rounding off. Here the system is you have to select the next higher number. So tell me, our answer is 8 into 35%. That came to how much? 2.8. So what is the next higher number? 3. Did you see I have written here 3? Now this 3 what to do? Look, this 3 you have to search in the serial number column. This 3 you will search in serial number column. So in serial number column, where is 3? 3. This is 3. So look at this. Serial number 3 I have selected. Why did I select serial number 3? Because my answer was 3. Okay. And anyways, that 35% was taken from the serial number column. In the serial number, there were 8 varieties. So obviously the answer which I get, I have to search in the serial number column. So in the serial number column, if you search 3, you select this amount. And against this, what was the price in ascending order? I will mark that. Why I am doing all this? What did I say? Logic I will explain. First, mug up like this only. Because only when I arrive at the final answer, I can explain the logic. In between, it's not possible to explain the reasons and the concept. So what is the price against the third serial number? 10. And that also in ascending order, mind you. So I'll do one thing. I will select this. Okay. And this I selected because 3 was 35th percentile. Wait. Then after this next step, calculate 65th percentile. Calculate 65th percentile in similar manner. Calculate. Now since it is 65th percentile, what will I do? 8 into 65%. So 8 into 65%, how much? It is 5.2. But now will you bother to see it is 5.2 only? See whether it is 5.1 or 5.05 also. You have to always round up to the next higher number. So what is the next higher number? 6. So this 6, where will I search? In the serial number column. Don't forget I have taken serial numbers 65%. So let me show here first. 65th percentile comes to 6. So this 6 I will search here in the serial number. Now against 6, what is the price? 16. So let me select that. Wait. This 6 I have selected. Now against this, 16 is the price in ascending order. So tell me finally what is the 35th and 65th percentile? Come on, pay attention, come on. The value of 35th percentile is 10. See, actually 35th percentile was 3. But the value, listen to my language, 35th percentile is 3. And the value of 35th percentile is 10. Similarly, 65th percentile is 6. And the value of 65th percentile is 16. Now you know what you will do? This becomes my range. Now I have to search this $17. If it falls between 10 and 16, then our price is genuine. What did I say? After finding this 10 and 16, we get a range. Range means this is a range of prices. Any price between 10 and 16 is a genuine price. So we have to see what is our actual price. Tell me what was the actual price of Assess's transaction with its AE 17. So this $17, if it falls between 10 and 16, then it is a genuine price. But does it fall between 10 and 16? No. So that means this is not a genuine price. But just imagine, instead of 17, if I would have taken example of say $14, 14, then that means it falls between 10 and 16. Then our price is genuine. And once our price is genuine, ALP is scrapped. And whatever assessee has shown, it will be accepted. No adjustment in the income of the assessee. But that will be when? If the actual price falls between this range. But in my example, this $17 is within the range or outside the range. It is in fact here. It is even above 16. So since our price is not falling within 10 and 16, it is not a genuine price. So then what should be the genuine price? So for genuine price, we will calculate median. Median is 50%. What was 35% here? What was 65% here? Now it will be 50%. 50%. 8 into 50%. Median is 50%. 50% fixed rule. 35th percentile is 35%. 65th percentile is 65%. So what is median? 50%. So what is 50%? What is 50%? Calculate 50%. That is 4. And you know what is this 4? 4 is the serial number. Because we took 50% of serial number column 8. So that 4 will be searched in the serial number column. So let us search 4 in the serial number column. Did you see 4? And against that, what can you see? 12. But 12 is not the answer. You know what I will do now? Look at this. Since the answer is 4, it's about to get over. Wait, patience. Since the answer is 4, I will select the price of 4th serial number and price of 5th serial number, and then I will take average of that. I will explain logic of each and everything. Have patience. But you know, this 4, I will not take directly the price against 4. Since I have got a whole number, means not in decimal. Was this in decimal? Was it 4.5 or it was just 4? It was just 4. Had it been 4.5, then I would have taken the next higher number and directly the answer would have come. But here the problem is this is not in decimals. And since the answer was already whole number, then there is a problem that 4th price and 5th price will have to be averaged. And what is the average of 12 and 14? What is the average of 12 and 14? 13. So 13 becomes the ALP. I understand this is completely mechanical, but see, only once you understand the system of solving, then only I can explain the logic. And logic also I will not directly explain. I will ask you to try first. You apply your brain. Then finally I will explain the logic of each and every step done over here. Trust me, I have the reason for each and every step. But first tell me mechanically what to do. Wait, did you understand what I did over here? Tell me, if median would have been 5.5, what you would have done? 5.5, then next number is 6. Then directly I would have taken the 6th price. Then this averaging is not done. This averaging is done when? If you get the exact number, a whole number in median. See, normally when you get a answer without any points, you are happy. In exam, whenever you solve anything, and if you don't get the answer in points, you get a whole number, you are happy. But here this is a sadness. Since you got 4 as the whole number means not in decimals, So it was a problem. What problem? That we have to take fourth price and fifth price. Means that price and next price. That and next. Average of 2. Okay, answer if you understood. If this answer would have been 3 then? If this answer would have been 3 then? Third and fourth price. Average of 2. But see, all these answers are serial number. Don't forget. Huh? So just for my satisfaction, tell me again. If this would have been say 6th then? 6th and 7th price average of 2. Okay. If this is 6.5 then? Directly 7th price becomes the median. And see, this policy is applicable everywhere. In all these 3 steps, what is the protocol? If the answer is in point, take the next higher number and the price against that is the answer. And if the answer is not in point, if it is a whole number, then that price and next price average of 2. Means this thing which I have done here, I should have done here also, but I didn't explain at that stage. You know why? Because here the answer was in point. In short, what I did here, what I did? I took that price and next price average. This is applicable here also and here also. But usually 35th and 65th percentile will be in decimal. Why did I say like that? Usually this will be in decimal only because it is 35%. Tell me, take any random imaginary example. Instead of 8 prices in my question, there would have been say 9, 10, 12, 13 prices. Take 35% or 65%. Usually you will get in points. But that is usually. But for the sake of rule, just remember one thing. What? If this figure also is a whole number, then that price and next price average of 2 will become the 35th percentile. Same goes in 65th also. Even 65th percentile becomes a whole number. Then that price and next price average of 2. In short, in all these 3 stages, the protocol is same. If it is in decimal, take the next whole number, next higher number and the price is selected from that. And if it is not in decimal, directly you are getting a whole number, then that price and next price average of 2. What is the logic of this? You have to think. But wait, let me conclude this. What is the conclusion in this sum? How many times to say after every ALP computation you have to write the conclusion? In exam when they ask the question, you are not just supposed to compute the ALP, you have to write the conclusion also. So tell me what conclusion you will write here. Since the ALP is $13, assume it is in dollars. Since the ALP is $13, the genuine purchase price. Did you notice it was all about purchase? So since the ALP is $13, the genuine purchase price is $13. But associate shown $17. Shown more expense, cheating. Why did I say expense? Purchase is an expense. So my tone of conclusion is what? That since the ALP is 13, the genuine purchase should be 13. But associate shown 17. Shown more expense, cheating. Hence the difference of, complete my sentence, $4 shall be added back to the net profit of the assessee. See, I am interested in making you understand the wordings also. Don't restrict yourself to the final answer. What did I say? The difference of $4 shall be added back. You know when to use the word add back? When you have shown excessive expenditure and reduce the profit. So when you reduce excessive expenditure, then we have to reverse it, means you have to add back. So what should you say? The difference of $4 shall be added back to the net profit of the assessee. So this is the conclusion. Now can you explain the logic behind each and every step? Did you see the 4 steps? Step 1, ascending order. Count 1. Step 2, 35th percentile. 3, 65th percentile. Fourth is what you know? Fourth. What was fourth step? Checking the price in the range. If falling in the range, the working stops there. And conclusion is the price of assess is genuine. If it falls within the range, this is fourth step. See, in fourth step, what to do? Check. What check? The actual price. If it falls within the range of 10 and 16, it is a proper price. If it doesn't fall, then find median. All this is step 4. So repeat the 4 steps. At least by heart, then trust me, I will explain the logic of each and everything. Step 1, ascending order. Step 2, 35th percentile. Step 3, 65th percentile. Step 4 is checking the price in the range. If it falls in the range, then thumbs up. That price is genuine. And if the price doesn't fall in the range, then calculate median and give the conclusion. That difference should be added to the income, blah, blah, blah. Can you explain the logic of all this? You think I would advise you should pause the video. Whoever is watching the lecture through this video, please pause the lecture right now. First apply your brain. Then I will give you the logic behind this entire working. Think first. So did you think what is the reason behind all this working? See, before I go into the reason, let me make it clear once again. Listen to this carefully. In all these workings, which working? 35th, 65th and median. There is one rule that if the answer is in points, decimals, then what to do? Take the next higher number. Take the next higher number. And that is the final answer. Means the price against that will be the answer. But if it is not in decimals, if it is already that 35%, 65% and median comes to an exact number. So whenever you get exact number means it is not in decimals. Then what to do? Then that price and next price average of 2. I know it sounds very mechanical. That is why we have to understand everything with logic. And here, understanding logic is most important, otherwise you will go mad. So see, what is the logic of all this? Pay attention here. See, when there are so many prices, it becomes difficult to judge what is a true and fair price. See, don't forget our mission is what? Our mission is to find out the genuine price. Because we don't trust this $17. But in the search of genuine prices, I have got 8 varieties. So that means I have got less varieties, more varieties. More. So you know what is the best way? Whenever you have got so many varieties, we should discard the lowest and the highest prices. Since we have got lot of varieties, my first mission is what? To discard the prices which are very less and prices which are very high. Extremes. I want to delete the extreme prices. See, imagine, look. This is a range of prices I have got. Look at my hand, you will understand everything with my hand only. These many prices, imagine these are 8 prices. So from these 8 prices, with this hand only you will understand. Please focus on this. Imagine I have got 8 prices. So from this, you know what I want to do? I want to remove the prices which are too low and prices which are too high, so that I get a central range. That's why it was necessary to first arrange the price from lowest to highest. Ascending order. Didn't you see? First I did ascending order. Means I arranged the prices from lowest to highest. So that very low prices should be discarded and very high prices should be discarded. And now see the position of my hand. Originally it was like this. Now if I remove small prices and big prices, I will have less number of data because I have discarded extremes. Very low prices and very high prices are discarded. So now the data is cut down into small data. This is what we did. If you notice, very low prices means, look at the screen, 6 and 8 is discarded because for 6 and 8 we feel they are too low, and too low is also not proper, too high is also not proper. The concept of average says this only, that it should neither be too less nor too much. It should be somewhere in between. So somewhere in between, I will have to first arrange in ascending order so that I can delete the lowest and highest. So tell me, after deleting lowest and highest, I get a boundary. This is my boundary of central prices. Central prices. Central prices means the prices which are neither too low nor too high. Central prices. That is why we had to draw one line here. Draw one line means we had to calculate 35th and 65th percentile. Now you will automatically understand why it was necessary to calculate 35th and 65th. Okay, now you will have a doubt. But then why 35th percentile only? Why not say something else like 30th percentile? Law could have done like that also. See, something has to be taken as a base. You will say why 35th? Okay, let it keep 30 percentile. You know what difference it makes? See, if 35th percentile is taken as the base, so imagine there are 100 prices. Imagine there are 100 prices. So from 100 we are deducting lowest 35 and highest 35. Why did I say highest? Because after 65, what is left is 35. In a data of 100. In a data of 100, if I remove lowest 35 and then above 65, what's left is 35 only. What is 100 minus 65? 35. So idea is what? Think in terms of 100. Think in terms of 100. If there are 100 prices, I want to remove lowest 35 and highest 35. You know why I said 35? Because above 65 you are left with 35 only. So imagine minus lowest 35 minus highest 35. So this way 70 prices are deleted. So out of 100 prices, now we are left with only 30 prices. You are listening or not? From 100 I remove lowest 35. Look at my hand, and highest 35. So 35, 35, 70. 70 prices are discarded. So I am left with the remaining central 30 prices. And you know, this is an advantage for the SSC. That between 70, this 30 prices, if your prices fall, your price will be treated as genuine. Okay, tell me, just imagine if law would have considered 30th percentile here, then this should have been 70th percentile. The total has to be 100. Percentile, cent means 100. So if this would have been 30th, so this should have been 70. Anyways, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Law has fixed it at 35, 65. But imagine there is an amendment. Just imagine there is an amendment. Instead of 35, it has become 30th and 70th percentile. Then what will happen? Please tell me what will happen. Then that would mean out of 100 prices, we are deducting lowest 30 and highest 30. So 30 and 30, 60. So we are left with 40. So assessee will get a bigger range. Assessee will get more advantage. Because now in that 40 prices your price falls, you are true and genuine. But with 35th and 65th percentile, we are left with only 30 prices. Means the range will change. So tell me, if there is an amendment 10th percentile, then what happens? 10th percentile means what? Out of 100 prices, lowest 10 you remove and highest 10 you remove. Why I am saying highest 10? Because after 90, what's left is 10. So lowest 10, highest 10, what remains is 80. So from 80 prices, if your prices fall, that means you're genuine, then that will be too much. Law cannot give him such a big range. See, this is a range only which you are getting. Okay. So in short, what law felt the appropriate range would be 35th to 65th. So that in a list of 100 prices, if we delete 70, central 30 prices is appropriate. This is the logic. Anyways, we cannot go beyond a particular extent. We have to accept the law. It is the mentality of the finance minister that he believes 35th and 65th is appropriate. Let it be. Tomorrow if someone else is a finance minister, he can make the amendment. But one thing is sure, if this 35th becomes 40th, so obviously this will become 60th. Accordingly, the range will change. But see, instead of going into 35, 65, understand the funda. The funda is what? From lowest to highest. I want to remove the extremes. So if extremes are removed, my data will become small. I want to cut down the data. You didn't see the problem in this is what? 6 or more means there are so many varieties. The main problem is what? That 6 or more feel 6 or more, so much variety. The first solution is reduce the data. See, here the data was already small. Why? Less than 6. That's why arithmetic mean was best. Here the problem was what? The variety is less than 6. Then it could be easily sorted. But whenever you come across 6 or more varieties, you know what goes in your mind? So much of variety. So let's shorten the data. And how to reduce the data? Remove the extremes. Now look at this. These are 8 prices. In my example, 8 were there. Okay. Out of 8 prices, what I did? I removed the lowest and highest. Now I am left with central prices. Now in this price, I have to search. What I am doing? I am searching my $17. If I find $17, are you understanding or I should keep doing like this only? I have to search 17 in this central prices. And if I don't find, then I should be sad that I am not finding the price here. Then what? Then I have to see what is the fair price, and the fair one is center of this. Central most price is the median. I want you to make this feel. You didn't feel the movement? Total data, extremes deleted, central data, and in that central data, the centermost point is the median. But you know that median is needed only if your price doesn't fall within the range. So tell me, if it would have been like this, if my price falls within the range, then I'll be happy. Yes, our price is genuine. Then there is no need to calculate median. Median you have to calculate if you don't find that 17 within the range. Then we feel that 17 is not proper price. Then we have to find the center of this. And median is the central most price. See, now you will automatically understand the logic of this also. What is the logic of this? Because see, in a data of 8, which is the central most number? 4 is not the center. Do you know how to find out the center? 4 is not the center, nor 5 is the center. Center is this. Center means a point which will divide equally. So see, here there are 4, here there are 4, left hand side 4, right hand side 4, data becomes equal. But that central line is what? Neither 4 nor 5, middle of that. That's why 4 plus 5 divided by 2. Not 4 plus 5, sorry. Fourth price and fifth price divided by 2. That came to 13. Now you should understand the logic of this also. Tell me, if I have got 8 fingers, it is very difficult to find the central finger. Can you call 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this fourth finger, this is the central finger. In my fingers only select the central finger. These are 8 fingers. Can you call this as a central finger? No. Because if this is the center, why there are 3 left here and 4 left here? So this is wrong. The center of 8 items is neither 4 nor 5. It is in between that. Okay, tell me, what is the center of 3 fingers? Second finger. How did you get 3 divided by 50% of 3? 50% of 3 is what? 50% of 3. Why 50%? 50%. See, median 50%. So 50% 3 is 1.5, and 1.5, what is the next number? 2. So center of 3 fingers is the second finger. In short, discover one thing. If the data is odd, you can easily get the center. If the data is odd means which data I am talking? Which data? This serial number. If the data is odd, then it is easy to find the center. See, this 5 numbers is odd data. 5 is odd number. So center is what? This is the center finger. How did you get this? 50% of 5 is 2.5, and 2.5 next number is 3. So directly you get the center. In short, this problem arose why? Because the data was in odd number or even number. Even number. And whenever we are dealing with even number, it is difficult to find the center. And why am I behind the center? Because median is the central most price in the position. Median and mean, what is the difference? What is the difference between mean and median? Mean gives importance to the value. This is 100, this is 10. Let's average 100 plus 10 divided by 2. But in median, this is 100. That is what? We don't see the value, we see the position. That if there are 100 items in a list, who comes in the center? Position develops median. It is not based on the value, it is based on the position. Imagine there are 20 students standing in a line. Some are very short, some are very heighted. But in median, what we see? Who is standing in the center? The person in the central most position becomes the median. But mean gives importance to the value. See, that's why in mean what we did, see, we simply added the values and divide by 4. So that is mean. But in median, we don't see value, we see the position. Who comes in the center? See, here you will get one doubt. Sir, here even if you would have simply added the values, even if you would have simply added the value and divided by 8, we would have got 13 only. Check this method. Try to find mean here. Add all this. Little bit effort you have to put to understand. Add all this and divide by 8. So what is the answer? 13. Means what did I do? I calculated arithmetic mean. Arithmetic means with what? Total of all divided by 8. So total of all divided by 8 means even if I take the simple average mean, the answer is 13 only. Did you check and see? So your doubt should be what? Answer is same. So what is the nonsense we are doing? We could have simply added all and divided by 8. But see, in my example, coincidentally, mean and median is same. You know why? Because I have created a very simple example. If you notice one thing, each prices has a difference of 2. Each price, see, 6, 8, difference of 2. I have given a very even organized data. Practically that is not possible. Just for the sake of simplicity, my example which I created was simple. But see, it is not always the case that every price will have a difference of 2, You notice the difference of 2? Between each price the difference is of 2 only. That is why coincidentally mean and median is coming to same, but it's not always. You know, in actual exam, will you find like this 6, 8, 10 to increasing by 2 to 2? They will have a variety of figures. For example, you will find 6 and then suddenly 13, suddenly 14, then after 14, 16, then 23. And if we give the importance to the value, it is called mean. But if we just ignore the value, we see the ascending order and who is in the center, that is called median. And see, it makes sense. See, when there are thousands of data, then we just ignore the value, we see who is in the center. Imagine a big crowd standing in front of you. Crowd of people. Imagine a big crowd of people means there are thousand persons standing in front of you. We will not measure each and every person's height. You will see the one who in the center looks to be hero. The one who is in the center becomes the hero. When there is a big crowd of say 1,000 people. In short, understand the feeling. What I am trying to say, when there is a big data, individual value doesn't matter. What matters is who is in the center. So for example, in a big India, who is in the center? Narendra Modi. We don't see the value. Means some people are so qualified, IIT, chartered accountant, engineer, some are uneducated. We don't see that. Who is standing in the center today? Modi. That position matters. You know. But see, when there are limited data, limited means less than 6 prices, then we give importance to value. Because only 4-5 prices are there. So this is little less, this is little more. So bring it in the middle, average it. This logic no one understands. So see, I am struggling to make you understand the real difference between mean and median. So the main difference is mean, there are so less data, so we just give the importance to the value. This figure is too less, this is little high, so average it. So what we do? This plus this divide by 2. But when there are so many prices, such a huge data that 6 or more, then we don't give importance to the value. We would simply see who is in the center. For example, see, if I give a data like this, 2, 12, 200, okay, and then 210, and then suddenly 500, it is ascending only. And then wait, let me give 1000, and suddenly say 1 lakh. So tell me which is the centralmost. Wait, I give even data. Wait, 200 and then 110 and then say 500 and then say 2000 and then 4000 and then 10,000. Now tell me which is the central most? Central most is 500. So did we bother to see there are some figures like 10,000 also? There are some figures like 2 also. We didn't give importance to the value. We saw the position. Who is in the center? 500. This is median. So see, with this weird example, what I am trying to say, in median we give importance to the position. But see, in my example, position wise also the answer is 13, and in terms of value, in terms of mean also the answer came to 13. Why? Because between each position coincidentally the difference is of 2. Between each position coincidentally difference was of 2. That's why the mean and median is same. But it's not always like that. Conclusion. How to calculate ALP when there are 6 or more prices? Conclude and tell me. Tell me if there are 17 prices, what to do? If there are, these 17 prices, or these are price with unrelated parties, and all 17 looks to be genuine because all are with unrelated price parties. So tell me if there is a data of 17 prices, what will you do? Tell me orally. So see, hold the hand like this, 17 prices. So first our mission will be to reduce the size of the data. So what to do? I want to scrap and delete the extremes. Means very low prices and very high prices should be deleted. So the extremes are removed. For that, first we have to arrange in ascending order. And after you get in ascending order, you come to know the lowest are here and the highest are here. So remove lowest and remove highest. But the challenge is, what do you mean by lowest and what is highest? So for that we have to draw a line. And drawing a line means calculate 35th percentile and calculate 65th percentile. And here if you get the answer in decimal, take the next higher number. See, we could have taken the preceding number also. But see, one call we have to take. What law decided? Let's go to the next higher number. We could have gone to the preceding number also. But see, we cannot do both things. We have to take one stand. So see my hand movement, this will make you understand the best. So I want to remove the lowest and highest. For that I have to draw a line. And that draw a line means 35th and 65th. And if that is in decimal, I have to go to the next higher number. See this next higher number. And then what to do? Now I am with the limited data. Now I don't have 17 prices. My data is cut down. And I have got the cream data. Cream data means it's neither too low nor too high. It's the central data. Now what? Explain, my hands are paining. Now what? Now we have to check the actual price in that central range. And if you find the price within that, then you should get a smiley. And means your conclusion should be what? This is thumbs up. Then what conclusion you should write? The price declared by the assessor is true and fair, it's accepted. But if it falls within the range, and if it doesn't fall within the range, then we are angry with the price shown by the assessee. He is a cheater. Then ignore his price, find out the true price. And what is the true price? Again come into the center of this. See this center. And that central most position nothing but the median. But that center position becomes a challenge when there is a even data. Tell me if it is the data of 17 items, then 17 into 50%. Median will be 17 into 50%. That comes to 8.5. So that means ninth price will be the center. So this is the concept of median. Conclusion. We have done the theory of average today. So take it from the top. Methods. First we have to select which method? Most appropriate method. So from these are 5 methods. From the 5 methods, first we have to select the most appropriate. and then let us assume we selected this method is most appropriate. Then we have to see whether you get a single price or multiple. If single, then that is the ALP. If multiple, then we have to check less than 6 variety or 6 or more. If it is less than 6 variety, that means we have got few prices. Then we can simply average out, arithmetic mean. And in arithmetic mean, there is a tolerance band of 3% actual price. Means if the difference between the mean, means that average and actual price is small, we ignore it. And if the difference is big, entire difference is added to the income of the assessee. But if the data is of 6 or more prices, then it is a very big data. So you have to find median in that. But tell me, some students ask me the doubt, sir, don't we have tolerance band here? In fact, some students do. You know what they do? See, this is 13 and this is 17. They calculate tolerance band here also. Means what they do? What was the tolerance band? 3% of actual price. So actual price is 17. So what they do, 17 into 3%, they find out tolerance band here also. But don't you think it would be funny to calculate tolerance band here? Why? Already you are given a big range. Are you valuing this or not? Did you see if my price would have fallen within this range of 10 and 16, government is tolerating only. So what more tolerance you want? In fact, here it is father of tolerance band. Not just tolerance band. It's a big tolerance band. Means imagine in a big data, when you come into the central range, if your price falls in that center, you are allowed to show that much. So that is nothing but a tolerance band only one way. So, but we don't call it as tolerance band, we call you are given a range. You know, this method is popularly called in what? Range concept. If you are working in big fours, if you are working in some transfer pricing department, this term is very famous, range concept. People call this as range concept. And why it is called range concept? Because see what I did? Remove lowest, remove highest, and you come in a center range. It's a range concept. In that range, if you fall, your price is true. That is more than a tolerance band, right? So, still if you separately take a tolerance band over here, it would not be logical. See, if you understand with concept, you will not make such silly blunders. And students whose fundas are not clear, they make such blunders. Even in medians question, they start doing tolerance band. So finally this is over. What is over? Wait. From the summary if I show, check the status. You know what we have done? We have done this concept of average. Okay. So now we have reached here. Look. This much part of the chapter is done. Can you tell me what is the next theory? Next theory is what? AO bhadak. See here I have written one Hindi word. Hindi word is bhadak. Bhadak means AO gets angry. AO gets angry. So in Hindi I have written here AO bhadak. Bhadak gaya matlab gussa ho gaya. He got angry. So you know next theory is what? Under what circumstances the AO shall bhadak? Or I can say under what circumstances the AO shall get angry? He will become an angry young man. When? So for that there is a theory that there are in all 4 circumstances under which AO will become angry with transfer pricing assessee. This chapter is for transfer pricing assessee. What is a transfer pricing assessee? Assessees with AE plus IT. This AE plus IT people are called what? Transfer pricing assessee. See, if I also have one associated enterprise with whom I have an international transaction, I will be called as a transfer pricing assessee. So the next theory is what? There are four circumstances under which the AO shall bhadak. AO shall bhadak means AO shall become angry. And you know what are those four? Wait, what if he gets angry? He gets angry when? I will tell you. But what if he gets angry? He will hit you? No. Once AO gets angry, he will compute the ALP on his own. And once he computes the ALP, there are two bad consequences, which is the next theory. Wait. Look at this. Consequences. Can you see? See, actually these two parts are connected. Basically, first I need to make you understand what? When AO shall get angry, means AO shall bhadak. And then I will explain what are the consequences of AO getting angry. That is the next theory. And can you see this? Four arrows. Please look at the screen. Can you see these two arrows? This means what? Tell me, what do you mean by this? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are four circumstances where AO gets angry. And what do you mean by this? Two arrows. There are two consequences which are bad for an SSC if AO gets angry. So I'll do one thing. First I will make you understand under what four circumstances AO becomes angry. So see here. First circumstance. If SSC fails to compute the ALP as per the most appropriate method. What did I say? If SSC fails to compute the ALP as per the most appropriate method, the AO will become angry. You know what law says? It is the duty of the SSC to compute the ALP, and that too as per the most appropriate method. But some SSCs are nonsense. They don't respect this rule. Which rule? Compute the ALP on your own as per the most appropriate method. So if SSC does not respect the rule of computing ALP on his own as per the most appropriate method, the AO will get pissed off. AO will get angry. And you know what AO will say? You were supposed to compute ALP. You didn't compute. Now forget it. Now I will compute ALP. And once I compute ALP, you see the consequence. You wait and watch. You know, purposely I am doing such acting because in real life, this is a serious situation. If a situation arises when AO gets angry, there are two bad consequences. And what are the two bad consequences? I will explain after some time. But why I am reacting like this, you know, so that a student should understand it is not a small thing. That if AO gets angry, you should not have the mentality, let him get angry. What will you do? What will you do means, if he is angry, firstly he will compute ALP. And his ALP he would not like only. See, if I am angry, firstly I will compute ALP and my ALP SSC would not like. What is there to like or not like in ALP? Imagine if AO computes a bigger ALP. You know what to do with that ALP? That ALP is compared with the actual price and the difference is added to the income. So first dangerous thing is what, you know, that AO will compute ALP and God knows what ALP will compute. And obviously you would not like his ALP. Plus there are two severe consequences. So that's why, you know, it is better that don't make the AO angry. And if you don't want that he should get angry, please compute the ALP on your own, that too as per the most appropriate method. And if you don't do that, AO will get angry. This was one circumstance. This way there are four circumstances under which AO will get angry. So first point is, if SSC fails to compute the ALP as per the most appropriate method, AO will get angry. Second point, pay attention, come on. Second point, if, look at the screen, information and documents required under section 92D are not maintained, AO will get angry. Now see, you will not understand the gravity of this situation. See, under section 92D, an assessee is supposed to maintain some information document. Don't read the notes right now. That's not the right approach. Look at the screen. You are actually not nourishing your brain properly. If you just see the notes while I am explaining, just concentrate on the explanation. Then only your concentration will improve. See what I was saying? Section 92D requires an assessee to maintain some. What is this IND? Information document. You know what is the information? These informations are useful in computing ALP. Exactly what kind of information? I am not explaining now. I will explain at the time of 92D. But right now, since we have not reached at 92D, I need to give some rough idea that these information document which I mentioned here, these are nothing but certain relevant data which are used in ALP computation. And what kind of data is this? I will explain at the time of 92D. But right now, what you have to understand? Whatever these information and documents may be, an assessee has to maintain means he should maintain. In case he doesn't maintain, the AO will get angry. And you know what AO will say? You didn't maintain information document? These information documents are relevant for computing ALP. And when you didn't maintain the information document only, so what ALP you should have computed? Now forget it. I will compute ALP. And once I compute ALP, you will have to suffer the two consequences. What are the two consequences? I'll explain later. But this is also one situation when AO gets angry. So how will you express this in proper language? If a transfer pricing assessee fails to maintain information and document required under section 92D, you know why this is so important for government? Because these information documents help us in computing ALP. See, the whole chapter is revolving around ALP only. But for ALP, you need some data. And if that data you are not maintaining, so how come you compute ALP? So your ALP is not reliable, right? So AO gets angry. He says, I will compute ALP. Then, third, how many circumstances will make AO angry? 4. Can you see here 4? 2 I have said. Third point, look at this. These information documents which I have been saying under section 92D, this assessee is supposed to maintain. If he doesn't maintain, AO will get angry. Now, these information documents sometimes you have to furnish to the income tax department. For that, usually you get a letter. You will get a letter, dear assessee, please submit information document. And if you submit, very good. And if you don't submit, AO will get angry. So what is the third situation which will make him angry? If an assessee fails to furnish the information document whenever required. In short, an assessee is warned, be prepared, we can call for information document, and once we ask for, please submit. In case you don't submit, then we will get angry. And once AO gets angry, what will you do? He will hit you? No. He will get angry means what? He will say, you go to hell, now I will compute ALP. And once I compute ALP, obviously you wouldn't like it. And mainly you will have to suffer two consequences of that. 3 circumstances I explained. In all, there are 4 circumstances which will make AO angry. Repeat. First was, please by heart this. If assessee fails to compute ALP as per the most appropriate method. Second, if information document required under 92D are not maintained. Third, even if maintained, you are not furnished. Whenever required, you should furnish. But you didn't furnish. So that's why AO gets angry. Now, last case. Information document under section 92D. Assessee might have maintained. He might have furnished also. But when IT department saw, they felt the data was incorrect and unreliable. Information document assessee might have maintained. Which information I am talking about? 92D. So there are certain information under 92D assessee might have maintained. Very good. He might have submitted. Very good. But when the department saw that information and data, everything was incorrect and unreliable, that again can make a AO angry. What AO will say? What kind of information you maintain? All rubbish? With such rubbish data you computed ALP? To hell with you and your ALP. Now I will compute ALP. And once I compute ALP, you watch the consequences. There are two consequences which I will explain. In short, see, you know what is the best way to remember? See, either assessee didn't follow the most appropriate method of ALP computation, or next 3 points are related to information document only. Either assessee did not maintain information document, or maybe he maintained but did not furnish, or maybe he maintained or furnished but everything was incorrect and unreliable. Are you watching? Step by step his fault is increasing. See, in second point I said he didn't maintain. Third point, maintained but not furnished. Then maintained, furnished but incorrect, unreliable. But notice one thing, 3 points are connected with information document. And first point, your default was you didn't compute ALP. You know, even in first point, there can be two varieties. Some assessee do not compute ALP and some compute, but the method is not appropriate. This way, if you count in detail, there can be 5 points. How? See, what was the first point? If assessee fails to compute ALP as per the most appropriate. So that actually includes two varieties. Some assessee who do not compute ALP and some who compute but compute as per wrong method. So this way in first point there can be two varieties. See, now I want you to see the visuals. Because see, at the beginning only if you see the things written in front of eyes, then your brain will not work. See, I could have shown this first also, but you know, when you see this easily, your brain is not being trained. I didn't want to show you this thing at first instance only. Had I shown this, it would have been a simple task for me. But are you realizing your brain is not getting trained? That's why I want that when I'm explaining, first try to visualize the explanation. Then I will obviously show everything on the screen. Now look at the screen. Now tell me one by one, what is this? What is this, ma'am? Ma'am means most appropriate method. Means for ALP, you didn't follow the most appropriate method. Cross means you didn't follow the most appropriate method. And in this there are two varieties. Either he didn't compute ALP only, he simply filed the return. Who should compute ALP? Assessee at what time? At the time of filing the return. So either he didn't compute ALP or maybe he computed by wrong method. Both the cases are covered here only. Next 3 points are all connected with information document. Tell me, what did I tell you about information document? What is this information? These information and documents are required for ALP computation. Precisely what information document we will study at the time of 92D. But these are necessary for ALP computation. So now tell me, either this information document you are not maintained, or if maintained, not furnished, or even if maintained, furnished, but it is all incorrect and unreliable. So these are the four circumstances under which AO gets angry. But wait, law does not say AO will get angry. What do you think? In the act they write such language, AO will get angry. You know, in the act what they have written, pay attention here. Circumstances under which AO will compute ALP. But that angry part is implied. But if I don't use that angry part, you will take this very casually. Okay, AO will compute ALP, let him compute. Let him means what? He is angry. And in his anger, the ALP which he computes, first you will not like it. And secondly, there are two consequences of that. So I am just simply hyping it. And to create the hype, I am using the word angry. And in Hindi we say AO will bhadak. But in exam, don't write this language. AO will get angry and all that. What is the proper language of this answer? Tell me. Please tell me what is the proper language of this. Circumstances under which AO shall compute ALP. Don't write AO shall get angry. What do you write? AO shall compute ALP. So see, the answer will be like this. Normally ALP shall be computed by assessee. However, in following circumstances, ALP shall be computed by AO. Then you have to write one by one 4 points. First, if assessee fails to compute ALP as per the most appropriate method, then if the information document required under 92D are not maintained, then if the information document required under 92D are maintained but not furnished, then if the information document required under 92D are furnished but incorrect and unreliable. So these are the four circumstances. And any one of the circumstances is sufficient to make the AO angry. You know, this section is very famous, 92C3. See, already we are doing 92C only. You know which section we are doing? Forgot. We are doing 92C. Look. We are doing 92C. And right now we are at which stage? At this stage. So already it is 92D only. Sorry. 92C only. But precisely the theory which I taught is called 92C subsection 3. And you know why I am making you remember the subsection also? In the exam, many times they have written the section like this. ALP under 92C3. Once you come across this statement, ALP under section 92C3, automatically you should understand that AO has computed this. Means with this section only you should be able to imply, oh, 92C3, definitely AO should have got angry and he should have computed the ALP. So since the subsection is important here, I am making you remember the subsection also. See, actually look at this. As I said, there are four circumstances which under which AO gets angry, and then there are two consequences also. For consequences, it is 92C4. And for circumstances which will make him angry, it is 92C3. Sorry, 92C3. So this is a famous combo. Which is a famous combo? 92C3 and C4. See, had this subsection been not so important, I would not have mentioned. I would have simply gone ahead with 92C only. But I have seen past papers. You will also realize that in exam many times they write with subsection also. And these sections are important with this subsection. So tell me, what is the precise section of this theory? 92C subsection 3. And for consequences, 92C subsection 4. But what I have finished now is 92C subsection 3. 4 circumstances which will make the AO angry. But this consequence part is remaining. Wait. Okay, now next theory is what? Consequences of AO getting angry. Consequences of AO getting angry. Angry means in Hindi we say it is bhadak. AO bhadak means AO has got angry. Okay. Now see, there are two consequences as I said. First consequence, just wait. Okay, see, consequences of AO getting angry. Okay. Now first tell me, did you understand why I have written here E? We are doing section 92C. Broadly it is in 5 parts. A, B, C, D, E. Can you explain what was it? A was meaning. B was computation. And within computation there were 5 points I have created. Why to compute, when to compute, who will compute, all that. Okay. Then meaning, computation, average. That average theory also we did. After that AO getting angry was D. Then what is E? Consequence of AO getting angry. And for that the section is 92C4. Okay, now see, first consequence. To understand the first consequence, you should have some brief idea about what is ATIA, IB. Have you heard about these sections? At least you should have heard that in chapter 6A, apart from those sections which are done in CA Inter, there are some big sections like ATIA, ATIB, ATIC, ATIAB, IAC. This way there is one series of I sections. So I am just giving you some brief idea about the nature of ATI type sections. Whether it is IA, IB, whatever, all I sections have got a similar nature. Only when you understand the nature of ATI, you will be able to understand the consequence. Okay, so first I will make you understand what is this ATIA-IB. These are profit linked deductions. Repeat what I said. ATIA-IB, etc. are called profit linked deduction. You know, under this section what happens? Look. Whatever income you have shown under the head income from business, a certain percentage of that is allowed as deduction under chapter 6A. Repeat what I said. Under this ATIAIB, whatever income you show under the head income from business, a certain percentage of that is deducted under chapter 6A. And deducted means that much income is saved from tax. But what did I say? A certain percentage. And you know the percentage is also fixed. Some assessees get 100% deduction, some get 30%, and some get 25%. By heart this. Certain assessees gets 100% deduction of the profits. Why did I say profits? This is my profits only. Income from business what? Profits. So some assessees get 100% deduction for the profits. And some get 30% deduction. Some get 25%. And you know what is the logic of this ATIIB? To promote certain businesses. There are certain businesses which are important for the country. There are certain businesses which are important for the country. And to encourage and to promote such business, law has given incentive. And what is the incentive? That if you carry on such business, 100% of your profits will be exempted. Not always 100, sometimes 30, sometimes 25. Please buy at these 3 percentages. See, exactly you don't know right now what is ATIIB. But one thing is for sure, whatever these sections are, they are to promote and incentivize certain business which are necessary for the country. Like infrastructure is important or not. So this way certain businesses which are important for the country, like startups, it is nowadays there is a boom of startup. So it is necessary to encourage these startups. So startups, etc. There are certain businesses which government wants to encourage. And to encourage, what is the incentive? certain business 100% profits are exempted, and for certain business 30, and for certain business 25. But what is the method of that? First include your profits in income from business in the 5 heads, and then certain percentage is deducted. See, I am giving some very general explanation, because without this explanation you will not understand the first consequence. Okay, now I can proceed. See, let us assume in my example assess's profit was 100 crores and he is eligible for deduction under section 80IB. Maybe he is carrying on some business which is important for the country. Exactly what business I cannot say right now, because I have not explained in detail what is 80IB. But whatever, it is for sure that assessee might be carrying on some business which is important for the country. That's why he is eligible for deduction under 80IB. And can you see I have written a 30%? What did I say some time back? Some assessees get 100% deduction, some get 30, some 25. So let's assume in my example, assessee is eligible for 30%. So tell me, what is 30% of 100 crores? 30 crores. So he claimed deduction, and then look at this. He has claimed this deduction in the return. Okay, and then he filed a return. When do transfer pricing assessees file the return? 30th November. So this return was submitted. Then after the return is filed, there is a scrutiny. So imagine the case of the assessee was selected in scrutiny, and in scrutiny AO started questioning this 100 crores. This 100 crores is not proper, you have shown less profits, etc., etc. That argument started. And you know, in that argument, what AO noticed? Assessee had transactions with AE for which he didn't compute ALP. AO was shocked. You are not listening, or come on. Come on. Assessee had filed a return like this. Okay. And after he filed a return, his case was selected in the scrutiny. And in this scrutiny, the AO discovered that, what he discovered? That he had, assessee had transactions with AE plus IT. So assessee should have computed ALP, but he didn't compute ALP. AO got angry. AO said, shit, you didn't compute ALP? Assessee said, why? Why means you are asking why? Don't you know the law? Whenever you enter a transaction with your AE, and if it is international transaction, you should compute ALP. Now since you didn't compute ALP, I will compute. So let's assume AO computed ALP, and according to AO, the ALP, whatever it is, he computed ALP and compared it with the actual price. I am not telling you exactly what was the ALP. Whatever ALP AO computed, he computed. And that ALP he compared with the actual price, and the difference was, say, 40 crores. And that 40 crores difference AO will add in the income. How did I get 40 crores? Difference between ALP computed by AO minus the actual price. After ALP, what we do? What are you studying since so many days? After ALP, what do we do? Whenever we compute ALP, we compare with the actual price. And if we see assessee has shown less income, the difference we add or not. So same thing AO is doing, which ideally assessee should have done on his own in his return. But since assessee did not do, AO got angry. So AO computed ALP, and that AO's ALP compared with the actual price, the difference was added to the income. So now let's assume the difference added by AO is, wait, Look at this. I am assuming the difference is 40 crores. How did I get 40 crores? These are my figures only. Assumption. Just an example. So how did I get 40 crores? AO might have computed the ALP and then difference with the actual price, that comes to say 40 crores. So what income assessee has shown in the return has changed to 140 crores. See what I have written here, assessment. After your scrutiny is done, AO passes an assessment order. So in the assessment order, your income has changed to 140 crores. Now what assessee will say? Okay, let it be, since you have changed my income from 100 to 140 crores, let it be. I agree it was my mistake that I should have computed the ALP. I am sorry I didn't compute. Forget it. Now at least change this figure, because this 30 crores was 30% of 100 crores. How did I get 30 crores? 30% of 100 crores. Now what assessee is expecting? That when this 100 crores itself has changed to 140, so 30% of that will change now. Tell me what is 30% of 140 crores? 30% of 140 crores is how much? 42 crores. So assessee expects that his deduction under section 80 IB should be 42 crores. But it won't change. It will remain same as 30 crores. This is the consequence. You are not feeling hurt because it is not your money. Think from assessee's point of view. For him it's a shock. People who get 80 IAIB, they are used to one thing, that whatever I earn, 30% is tax free. So imagine if a person is habituated to a fact that whatever I earn, 30% is tax free. Whatever I earn, 30% is tax free. But for him it's a shock now that 40 crores is taxed fully without that 30% cut. This 30% is not my example. Under 80 IA, IB, IC, there is a rule that certain assessees get 100% deduction, certain assessees get 30%, certain assessees get 25%. So 30 was my example. Some assessees get 100% deduction. So imagine this assessee would have got 100%. So his original return would have been nil return. Imagine this assessee would have been eligible for 100% deduction. Then his original return would have been nil return. But that nil return will not remain nil return now. That 40 crores which is added, it will be simply added without the benefit of 80 IA, IB, etc. This is the consequence. Indirectly what law says? This is a threat. Listen to our threat. Who is threatening? Government is threatening to transfer pricing assessee. Now listen to the threat. This is our threat, that in case you don't compute ALP on your own, we will compute. And once we compute, because of that, whatever addition is made in your income, that addition will not be eligible for chapter 6A. Entire chapter 6A. But they will be more affected by 80 IAIB. Because in chapter 6A, deduction like 80C, 80D, these multinational companies do not have these deductions. See, 80C, 80D is for people like us. But in this chapter, we are dealing with multinational companies. And for multinational companies, 80C, 80D is nothing. Anyways, this 80C, 80D are for individual assessees. But right now we are dealing with a corporate multinational company. For them, their favorite section is Their favorite section is ATIIB. It is their most favorite section. And these assessees are so used to it that whatever they earn, back of the mind they have 30% will be tax free. Sometimes 25%, sometimes 100%. So take it on you. If you are also used to that 30% cut, 30% cut, suddenly if you don't get that cut, it will be a shock for you. And feel the figure, it's in crores. Imagine if this 40 crores assessee would have added on his own. If assessee would have added 40 crores on his own, because actually it was the duty of the assessee to compute ALP. Who should compute ALP? Assessee. If he would have computed ALP, if he would have added 40 in the return on his own, he could have rightfully taken deduction on 140 crores. And 140 crores, 30% thereof is 42 crores. Feel the figure, these are in crores. And I am not hyping the figure, these are not exaggerated. They are playing in crores only. But because the assessee failed to compute ALP, you made AO angry. This is the consequence you have to suffer. And the main suffering is this 40 crores is not getting any deduction. And you know what AO will say? According to you, your income was 100 only, na? So take deduction 100. Then assessee will say, no sir, but you made it 140. You made it means why did you bring this situation that I have to make? You should have computed ALP on your own. Since you haven't computed, so this so I will do. But now don't expect deduction on that. Because according to you, your income was 100. So take deduction on what was according to you. So this we have added because you failed to compute ALP. See, there is one more section 10AA. There is one more section in the law 10AA. Even that is a profit linked deduction. Have you heard about 10AA? It is for exporters. It is for, even that is profit linked deduction. See, for example, look. If I am manufacturing goods in India and 30% of my production is sold out of India, exported. So 30% of profits are exempt. Why 30%? Because out of my total sales, 30% is export sale. Okay, now, in India, whatever production I do, 45% I export out of India. Out of my total sales, 45% is export sales. So that means 45%. So my profits will be 45% exempt. But in 10AA, there is no fixed percentage. It depends upon the proportion of your export. So if I sell 100 and I export 23, out of 100 sales, 23 is export sales. So 23%. See, what is the difference between ATIA, blah, blah, blah and 10AA? Tell me. ATIA, etc. is also for promoting certain business. Not for export. That is also for promoting. But there the percentages are fixed. Some assessee get 100%, some get 30, some get 25. But in 10AA also, there is profit linked deduction. But that percentage is not fixed. But see, why suddenly I am talking about 10AA? Even 10AA deduction will be affected. And in real life, where is the position of 10AA? Look, it is after chapter 6A only. After chapter 6A, there is a place of 10AA. 10AA also operates like chapter 6A. What is the nature of chapter 6A? First include all the income in GTI. Then comes chapter 6A. Same is the nature of 10AA. That first include all your profits and income in 5 years. Then comes 10AA. And even in 10AA, you get certain percentage of your profit as deduction. But that certain percentage depends upon the proportion of your export. Tell me, if some assessee exports his full production out of India, then he is eligible for 100% deduction. But because he is exporting everything out of India, he is selling nothing in India, entire production is sold out of India, so you become eligible for 100%. So even that 10 double A deduction you won't get in respect of 40 crores. Why I suddenly started talking about 10 double A? Because law says neither you will get chapter 6A nor you will get 10 double A. Both the group are after GTI only. Even chapter 6A comes after GTI and even 10 double A. You know, for 10 double A why I have to stress? Because people are not aware of this. Everyone knows that chapter 6A comes after 5 heads. But even 10 double A comes after 5 heads. But that section doesn't come much in limelight. So that's why some students are not aware. But right now you remember, whether it is chapter 6A or 10 double A, these sections benefit you won't get, especially for the amount added by the AO. And whatever you have shown on that, whatever deduction you claim, that will remain intact. My 30 crores will remain intact. But that extra income added will not be eligible for the deduction. Let me explain this in the form of legal language. See, how will you write this thing in exam? See the legal provision. If ALP is computed by AO is getting angry, huh? If ALP is computed by AO, then the addition made by AO shall not be eligible for deduction under chapter 6A and 10 double A. See, although we say deduction under chapter 6A as a whole group, but actually 80 IA IB is mainly affected, because in the multinational companies type of business, for them 80 IA IB is very regular for them. So that will be affected. But don't write in exam 80 IA IB. How will you write? Chapter 6A will not be allowed. And even 10 double A will not be allowed. 2 addition made by AO. So repeat the sentence. If ALP is, see, you have to remember this like a threat. So law is threatening you. If ALP is computed by AO, then the addition made by AO shall not be eligible for deduction under chapter 6A and 10 double A. You know, if there would have been some other addition means, see, it is not always that ALP dispute is there. Sometimes, you know, there is some general dispute in scrutiny, like assessee says this expenditure is allowed, but AO says no, this is not allowed. See, other than ALP, there will be some other disputes also in scrutiny. So if there is some other dispute, because of that income has increased, your deduction will change. What did I say? This 40 crores was because of ALP dispute. But in income tax scrutiny, there are some other disputes also. For example, AO noticed that assessee has made some excess payment to relatives, or he has made some payment without deducting TDS. You have this much knowledge or not? That when you make excessive payment to relative, or when you don't deduct TDS, that expenditure is disallowed. Disallowed money is added to the profit. So if such is the case, then your deduction will change. It is when ALP dispute is there is a threat that because of ALP, if your income increases, so that extra amount will not get deduction. So if you understood, tell me, if this 40 crores was not because of ALP dispute, it was from some general dispute, like some expenditure was in cash which AO disallowed, then what? Then if your income becomes 140, your 30% will be on 140 then. On this there was a case law where their argument was what your deduction will not change, but the judgment was what why it won't change. If your income changes in scrutiny, your deduction has to change. ALP dispute is an exception. But in that case law which I am saying, it was not ALP dispute. It was a general dispute. So let me conclude finally. In scrutiny, if there is a general dispute not related to ALP, and because of that if your income increases, then your deduction under chapter will accordingly change. Means earlier 30% was on 100, now it will be on 140. But that is general dispute. But if it is because of ALP, where AO got angry, he had computed ALP, then the difference added by AO will not get chapter 6A and 10AA. And did you understand how did I get 40 crores? First, AO should have computed ALP as per the most appropriate method, CUPM and all that. And then AO's ALP was compared with the actual transaction price of assessee. That difference is for 40 crores. And even when AO computes, he will follow the same protocols like most appropriate method, and if there are multiple prices, less than 6, arithmetic mean, 6 or more, median, the rules for ALP computation will remain same. It is just what assessee should have done, it's done by AO. And if you make AO do all this thing, then the income which is increased will not get the deduction under chapter 6A and 10AA. This was first consequence. Okay, that's all for the day. Second consequence in the next lecture. Revise and come. Please revise and come.